Yeah, hello guys. So in previous video we created our very first class based component, and basically now we can go ahead and we can discuss the concepts of state and lifecycle methods, because ultimately we want our website to be responsive and dynamic. So with the help of that state and lifecycle methods we are going to achieve that responsiveness. So just see guys, now what how I'm going to include this state concept inside this particular class based component. And again guys, this state in next video I will be discussing about lifecycle methods, because ultimately with the help of both we can create a fully responsive application. So again guys, right now just see, I have basically what I have done, I have written something, yeah, like I have basically showing some message over the browser. And this is like this is my application. It is there a heading and there is a paragraph and there is a button. So what I want, basically I want that whenever user is going to click this particular button, whenever user clicks this particular button, I want to change this text. So this kind of dynamic nature I want in my website. And basically guys, right now you can think of like this is a initial state where I am displaying some particular text. So that state basically I want to change, because ultimately when user click there will be some events that will be called, and then the state is going to change. So this is where the state concept came from. Like there is an initial state and then you are going to change it. So just see guys how I'm going to include this state concept inside class based component. So for that, to define state we use a constructor. So constructor concept you will be familiar with, because every every programming language has class component, and inside that class component we use constructor. So basically constructor, what constructor does, it basically initialize objects and everything for particular class. So whatever the objects are required for a class, that is going to be initialized by this constructor. So that is where we are going to initialize our state. But again there is one more syntax that you have to write, and that is super props. So what is this super props means, whenever you are using this state concept inside your application, then you have to write this way, super props. So basically this is needed because guys just see, we are extending this component class. So that component class is basically our parent class that is going to be extended by this app. So that is why to initialize these the property of these components, it is mandatory to call the constructor of this particular component class. So that is why we are using this super, because ultimately it is a parent class for us. So that is why we are using this super keyword to initialize this property. Okay guys, so now what I can do, I can right now set the initial state of my application. So what how do we do that? Basically we just write this dot state, and again there will be some initial message. So suppose my initial message is the same like this. So just put there, just let me put it here. And again if I say my application, yeah, again one more thing guys. So now we have defined the initial state. So by the use of this state only we are going to display any text. So just this dot state dot message. So that message we are going to display. So by the use of this state, basically, yeah, one more thing guys, whenever you define any state or something inside the class based component, you always use this keyword. So this keyword is used to refer to particular state. So that is why I'm using this keyword everywhere. Okay, so right now just see guys, I am displaying this text, that paragraph, but that paragraph is now coming from this particular state. So that is my initial state. Now I have defined it, and basically I'm displaying that. But now what I want, that when user clicks this button, so I'm going to change this particular text. So how can I do that? For that I have to record the changes, means I have to basically handle that on click event, because ultimately on that particular on click event we are going to change the text. So here guys, I'm basically, every button has a property associated with it, and that is on click. So that on click event is going to call whenever I want a change, I want the change in the particular text. So that on click event, how can I set the state of particular, what we call this particular this keyword, this state keyword, and that we have defined here. So how can we change this state? So basically for to change to change the particular state of this application, we always use set state function. So there is a set state function that is we are going to use to change the state, or to you can say set the state. But ultimately what how do we do that? We cannot directly include set state here. We use generally a helper function to to set the state of our application. So right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to call a helper function. So that helper function is you can name it anything. I'm just naming it like handle click, because ultimately it is going to handle the click event. So handle click is my function that is going to be called whenever a user clicks this button, and that function now I'm going to define, and inside that function I will be setting the state of my application. So just see guys, handle click, and that is a function, and that is going to set the state of my application. So I can right now do this dot set state, and inside it I am going to change the state. So suppose whenever user clicks a button, now I'm going to change the state to you just clicked me, you just clicked me, sorry, clicked me. Okay, so this is what I want whenever user clicks a button for the to change my state. So now we have defined this particular handle click event, and we have called it and right now I guess it should work. So what do you think guys, it should work or not? So just see whether it is working or not, and if it does not work, then I will tell you that why it is not working. So yeah, right now our application is running, but I click this button and we get an error. So why we are getting this error? Now we have to just see it. Basically guys, error is like cannot read property set state of undefined. So basically set state is defined. Just don't get confused in this particular error, because many people get confused like set state is undefined. Set state is defined guys, but just see property set state of undefined means whatever the property is there, whatever the function you have defined set state, it is basically it is whatever the object calling this particular function, that is undefined. That is why it is showing like set state of undefined. So something is undefined, that is calling this particular set state. So what is undefined? This keyword is undefined, because ultimately we are we are calling this particular this keyword, we are calling this particular set state from this keyword. So this is right now undefined. So this is happens guys because we haven't bind this keyword to this particular function. So we are calling this function, we are basically calling this handle click, but that handle click is not right now binded with this particular this keyword. So that is always one more one more syntax you have to write every time to to bind this particular this keyword to get rid of this error, because ultimately if you do not bind this particular this keyword, then you are going to always get the same error. So just see guys, now what I'm going to do, this dot handle click, because my handle click is I want to bind with it particular this keyword, this dot handle click and dot bind, because ultimately I'm going to bind this this keyword. Basically I want to bind this keyword to this particular handle click function. So right now if I save my application, and now if I run it and just see guys, click me, so you just click me, now it is not going to change, because ultimately every time we are setting the same state now, because just see guys, if I click, so that function is going to be called again, and that the message is same, so you will not see any changes. But that is the that is the part, means every time you set the state or every time you change the state, every time your component is going to re-render. So ultimately it is running every time, and it is basically just changing it, but it is the same every time, so you are not going to see any changes here over the browser, but ultimately it is going to call it, and ultimately your page is going to re-render every time. So what basically state does, state basically if you change the state, it going to re-render your component every time over the browser. So that is how we generally use this state. Now you can say we have included this dynamic nature in our basically website, that on click event basically this message is going to now again if I reload the complete if I refresh it, so again my state is going to be set to the initial state. So again I can change it by using click. So that is basically the concept about about state. This is why we use particular this state concept. And now guys, in next video I will be discussing about this particular life cycle methods, and that life cycle methods we will be seeing that what why we use these life cycle methods and everything, and we will be seeing basically the complete life cycle of this class based component. Then we can go ahead and we can create our major project, that is image search application. Okay guys, thank you.